All right, team, in this video, we're going to talk about dollar cost averaging. You'll also notice that we do refer to it as DCA. That term is good to understand because we do use that quite a bit throughout the community as well as some of the training. And you're going to see it also in here where it says DCA1, DCA2. So what is dollar cost averaging? What dollar cost averaging means is when you come into a trade, for example, this one. We are going to buy this trade at a specific price. This white line here is your entry. So we bought our Bitcoin long at 23,975 or so. You can see here it does show the price. So actually it is 23,975. Once you buy this, sometimes as much as we would love to have a crystal ball, the market does go against us. It does not go always the way that we had planned. So you have to have a defensive strategy. Dollar cost averaging for our ATAs as well as traders sometimes can get you out of a jam a little bit. So as the market starts to go against you, the price becomes cheaper. You can basically take your volume and you can add in some volume at this level, which is 23,709. It chose to buy more volume in there. And that's going to bring your overall profit zone, because what this does on this strategy, it's going to take your price you bought it, and it's going to take your second price you bought it, and it will average those two prices to give you what your new entry average is to give you profit. So that is how you see this profit lines get shifted down. So you can see from here, they shifted down to here because you have a new price average entry right here. That is the white line. The white line will follow what your new entry is every time it does use a dollar cost average to execute the price to come down. So why it is powerful, sometimes the market goes against you. You're going to see in some back data, there is instances where you might see the dollar cost average actually gets out in profit. Like you can see here, we stopped this one right that it was stuck in. But we'll go back here and let's just show a couple of examples. Like for instance, this is actually a great example. So we ended up going into a long right here. Markets ended up pumping up, right? Didn't quite hit the take profit. Did a dollar cost average, bringing the entry down and then pushed it into its take profit. So this one does have the examples of the higher percentages. So I'm going to go ahead and reset these to default. Resetting these to default will help me show a little more examples. So we'll give that a second to kind of load on how DCA will actually help your ATA as far as getting out of its trades. So we're still thinking. You can see the little eyeballs spinning. There we go. All right, now we can go through some more examples here. So you can see here, took its long, market went against it. It chose to DCA, buying more, right? Here's your white line. That moved your entry down closer. So we bought it at 24,771. We DCA'd, or dollar cost average, at 24,528, giving us a total average of 24,588. Now, this average is going to vary based on the settings you have here, the multiplier. For example, if I were to set this as a 1 and I hit OK, you're going to notice these shift because it's not quite as powerful of a dollar cost average as if I were to do a 3, because it is a multiplier. So now it's simply going to take this entry and this entry and divide them in half because it's an equal entry dollar cost average. And you can see it moved it about halfway from this entry to this entry. Now, if I were to increase this, let's say make this be a 4, you're going to notice that the dollar cost average section of the take profits get moved down quite a bit. So basically it moved your entry from here to here, right, and then got right back out. So you can see how powerful. Had you not done this dollar cost average, here's your entry, we would have never hit that. We would still be in this trade, right? We would still be in this trade, fighting it, going negative and negative and negative. So you can see that is how dollar cost average can be very, very powerful. Now, I will caution you, dollar cost average uses volume. As great as it may look to put a 40 in here, right? Because it makes sense, let's just throw a 40. things going to go nuts, right? Wow, my profit's going to go through the roof probably. Let's see what it does. Yeah, look at that, 400 bucks. This is your volume. It's multiplying it, guys. If you take your long, your preset volume on $1,000 account and you multiply it by 40, your account is going to get wrecked. And you want to look at the liquidation section to be able to identify kind of what that looks like. So if you are not an advanced trader and you don't understand how this multiplier works, I highly suggest you leave these at default or less. Less is fine. Don't do more. If you don't want to DCA 3 times, you can uncheck that. You can uncheck this one, and you can only do 1 time. And you can see, watch, as this loads the new settings, even doing 1 DCA still is pretty good, right? It didn't get stuck to too much. It didn't get out as quickly as it might have on some of these, right? But overall, we can zoom out and kind of scrunch it down here. It didn't do too bad, right? So you may make that decision to do less. Less is fine. You just don't want to do more. We've already kind of peek that out as far as the volume, because we do announce that it is a minimum volume that we recommend or require. So I do recommend that you understand kind of how that works. Again, the preset volumes, this is just a multiplier. So whatever your preset volume is, it will multiply the DCA by 3, by 5, and by 5 if you have these checked. So be careful adding these ones. If you want to add more DCAs, you can spread these numbers out. So you have 5, 5, and 3, so it's 13. So you can do 3, 3, 3, 3, like down until you get to 13, right? And so how you mix that up, that's up to you. These percentages, so people sometimes I know get confused on these percentages. The percentages, you just want to kind of think of it as, higher percentage, the further away it's going to be, right? So if I were to set this at, say, 200, right, it's going to impact your overall profit on when that takes that profit. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, right? Could got stuck, right? But you can notice it's not going to DCA 1 as many times because you won't even allow it to DCA until it gets to this white line. Then you won't allow it to DCA 2 till it gets down to the next white line, right? And so that's kind of where you put the range on that. I know that I get some questions wanting to truly understand exactly what the percentage means. I recommend if you're new, just use the default percentages. If you do want to modify them, base it off the stats. If you can find percentages that work on better stats, then hey, by all means, right? If you go in here and you manipulate it too much, you don't know what you did, just reset the settings, guys. Just defaults, reset the settings, wait for the eyeball to pop up, and everything's reset. So that's kind of the basics of understanding how the DCA works. We do have some more information and text on kind of what a dollar cost average is, what it means, how it works, and in the YouTube video section below where the text is. Dollar cost average, guys, really understand this. This is a lot of people get worried about making a mistake that could cause an expensive loss. Of all of these settings, the only thing that could really hurt you as far as putting in too much volume is this section. So truly just understand it. If you're not comfortable with it, just leave the defaults, right? Or do less. You can always do less. You can do less, multiplier. You can do 3, 3, 3, 3, right? It doesn't matter. Just do not do more unless you're super comfortable with understanding how that works. So I hope this helps you guys out on understanding the dollar cost averages, how to manipulate them, change them, reset them. We'll talk also about how to manipulate the dollar cost average for existing trades. That will be in the existing trades section. So I hope that helps you guys out. And if you guys have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Support at botjock.com or inside our community.